Hello everyone, welcome to another session of online classes of Electrical Machines 1 subject. Today's class I'll be starting the 4th unit of Electrical Machines 1 subject. So in the previous classes we have seen the 3 units. So in first unit we have seen about the review of magnetic circuits, where we have seen the definition of magnetomotive force, magnetic flux, reluctance, inductance, review of Ampere's law, Biot-Savart's law, Faraday's law, Lenz's law. So these 4 laws are very basic laws and they are very useful in the study of machine subject. Ampere's law, Biot-Savart's law, Faraday's law and Lenz's law. Then we have seen BH curve of magnetic materials, energy stored in magnetic circuit, and also we have seen law of conservation of energy. Force as a partial derivative of stored energy with respect to position of a moving element. In this we have derived the equations and we have seen the numericals on this topic. Then next topic is torque as a partial derivative of stored energy with respect to angular position of rotating element. Second unit is all about DC machines. So this is not particularly generator or motor. We are seen in the second unit about DC machine, its construction. So what are the various parts of a DC machine? It can be a DC generator or a DC motor. Construction will be same for DC generator and DC motor, where we have seen in this stator yoke, stator poles, pole face, pole shoes, pole core, air gap, armature core, visualization of magnetic field produced by field winding excitation with armature winding open, air gap flux density distribution, flux per pole, EMF induced in armature coil, armature winding and commutation we have seen. Types of armature winding, in that we have seen what are the lap and wave windings. Numericals are also there on this type of windings, very important for LAQ. Construction of commutator, linear commutation, derivation of back EMF equation we have seen, torque equation derivation we have seen, what is armature reaction, air gap flux density distribution with armature reaction we have seen, various numericals also we have seen in first and second unit. Third unit was all about DC generators, armature circuit equation for generation, types of DC generators we have seen, characteristics of separately excited series and compound generators, voltage build up in a shunt generator. See the students, this voltage build up in a shunt generator, this was explained when I was explaining about the characteristics of shunt generator. Critical field resistance and critical speed, this I have said in the starting of the third unit, that is before first meet. At that time I have covered this topic. Please refer that video for critical field resistance and critical speed. Very important for short questions, these two topics. And based on types of DC generators, we have seen various numericals also. Those are also very important. So let us see the content of fourth unit. So fourth unit is all about DC motors. So we are going to see in fourth unit armature circuit equation for motoring, torque speed characteristics of separately excited shunt series motors and compound motors, speed control methods, losses and efficiency, testing of DC motors. We are having in this in EM1 subject brake test, Swinburne's test, Hopkinson test and field test. Okay, only these 4 tests are there. Other tests are also there, but in the syllabus only 4 tests are there: brake test, Swinburne test, Hopkinson test and field test. So first we are going to see the equivalent circuit. In this class I'll be telling about the introduction part, that is armature circuit equation for motoring. I will be telling. In that we will see the equivalent circuit of motor, what are the various types. But types of DC motors in detail I'll be telling in the next class. Then after telling types of DC motors, I will tell about the characteristics, then speed control methods, losses and efficiency, and tests, various tests. So within 6 classes or 7 classes, we will finish this 4th unit. 5th unit is very vast. Transformers, single phase transformers, 3-phase transformers, and auto transformers. All types of transformers are covered in 5th unit. It will take a lot of time, I think maybe 7 to 8 classes. I'll wind up within that. We have very less time to complete the syllabus. So let us start our topic. What is a DC motor? Motor is a machine which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. And there is no difference between a DC motor and DC generator from construction point of view, as I said earlier. Okay. So construction of DC machine, whether it is a generator or a motor, is same. Okay. Construction part in detail we have seen in 2nd unit, and that construction part details, everything is applicable for both DC generator and DC motor. So what is a DC motor? DC motor or motor is a machine which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. So only difference between generator and motor is that generators are usually operated in more protected locations, and therefore their construction is generally of the open type. Okay. So main difference between the generator and motor is that generators are usually operated in more protected locations, and that is why their construction is generally of open type. And on the other hand, motors are generally used in locations where they are exposed to dust, moisture, fumes, and mechanical damage. So motor requires protective enclosures. So the main difference between generator and motor is that generator can be used open, and motors should be used with protective enclosures, because they are used in locations where they are exposed to dust, moisture, fumes, and mechanical damage. For example, motor requires drip proof, fire proof, etc. enclosure according to the requirement. DC motors are very useful where a wide range of speeds and good speed regulation is required, such as in case of electric traction system. So motor requires drip proof, fireproof, etc. enclosure according to the requirement. DC motors are very useful where a wide range of speeds and good speed regulation is required, such as in case of electric traction system. There are various types of DC motors, and based on type of excitation, they are classified as shunt motor, series motor, and compound motor. So as we have seen in case of DC generators, where there are two types of excitation, separate excitation and self excitation. So similar is the case with the DC motor. Here we are having separately excited DC motor, self excited DC motor. So under self excited we are having 3 types: shunt motor, series motor, and compound motor. EMF equation of a DC motor is given by the equation EB is equal to P phi Zn by 60A or NP phi Z by 60A. See, 4 terms will be there in the numerator, NP phi Z, and denominator will be having 60A. And EMF of a DC motor is represented by EB. EB is nothing but back EMF. Okay. or counter EMF. See students, in this EMF equation of DC motor, EB is the induced EMF of the motor, we can say, or back EMF or counter EMF. N is the speed in RPM, P is the number of poles, phi is the flux per pole, Z is the total number of conductors, A is the number of parallel paths. So significance of back EMF, what is back EMF, what is its significance, and how it acts as regulating mechanism. I'll be telling in detail all these things in the coming classes, students. So as of now, just remember that EMF equation of a DC motor is given as P phi Zn by 68. So which is same as the EMF generated in a generator. Because in a motor, after motoring action, generating action will take place. So motoring action means what? Electrical to mechanical energy conversion. Then after that, conductoring cutting the flux, EMF is getting induced. That is generating action. So that EMF generated is called as back EMF, and it is opposing the cause producing it. So it is called as back EMF according to Lenz's law. It is opposing the cause producing it. And this how it acts as regulating mechanism, few points are there. So in detail I'll be discussing that later. Okay students, as of now just remember that EB is equal to P phi Zn by 60A. So let us now see the equivalent circuit of a DC motor armature. So armature of a DC motor can be represented by equivalent circuit, and it can be represented by three series connected elements, that is E, RA and VB. E or EB, we can represent EB by E also. So E is the back EMF, RA is the armature resistance, and VB is the brush contact drop or brush contact voltage drop, whatever it is. I mean, how BCD, brush contact drop also we can say, or brush contact voltage drop. Okay. So armature of a DC motor can be represented by an equivalent circuit, and it can be represented by three series connected elements, that is back EMF, armature resistance and brush contact voltage drop. This is a diagram showing the equivalent circuit of motor, DC motor. So we can see here. So this is a motor having two brushes. EB is the back EMF. V is the voltage applied. See now the direction of current. Current is going into the motor. Earlier we have seen in case of generator, current was coming out of the generator. Okay, now current is going into the generator, into the motor, and that is IA here. Okay, VB, RA and E. So these three are the terms which are going to represent, with which we are going to represent the equivalent circuit of a DC motor. So in a DC motor, current flows from line into the armature against the generated voltage. Okay, current will flow from the line into the armature against the generated voltage, and by applying Kirchhoff's voltage law to this circuit, we are going to get the equation as V is equal to EB plus IARA. So algebraic sum of all the voltages is equal to 0. So V minus EB minus IARA is equal to 0, or we can write this equation as V is equal to EB plus IARA, where V is the motor terminal voltage, EB is the back EMF, IA is the armature current, RA is the armature circuit resistance. So equation 1, that is V is equal to EB plus IARA, is called as fundamental motor equation. This equation V is equal to EB plus IARA is called as fundamental motor equation. And it can be seen that back EMF of the motor is always less than its terminal voltage V. So from the fundamental motor equation, it can be seen that back EMF of motor is always less than its terminal voltage. And now we can write the equation as V is equal to EB plus IARA plus VB. So what is the difference between first equation and second equation, students? We can you guess? Okay. First equation we can see that there was no VB. V is equal to EB plus IARA only. Now in the second equation we can see that V is equal to EB plus IARA plus VB. What is VB here? Voltage drop or brush contact voltage drop or brush contact drop. So equation 2 is considered or applicable when the voltage drop VB in the brushes is also taken into account. So whenever we are taking into account brush contact drop, you have to add it in the equation. Okay. In some cases it is negligible and it can be neglected. It is very small and it can be neglected. So if it is given, if we are doing a numerical and in that if the value of brush contact drop is given, then at that time consider this equation. So this is a fundamental motor equation, that is only the drop will be changing but equation will be V is equal to EB plus IARA. Whereas in case of generator, we were having equation as E is equal to V plus IARA. So this is the difference. There EG is equal to V plus IARA. In motor, V is equal to EB plus IARA. There we were representing voltage by EG because EG was the EMF generated in a generator, EG. And EB is the back EMF. V is the terminal voltage or voltage applied. In this case, if this you can tell it as terminal voltage only. There also we were having voltage drop. So it is very small and it can be neglected. Okay. Only in case of numericals, if they are mentioned, then you can take the VB value. So I hope today's class of introduction is clear to everyone. So in this unit, we are going to see about the uh, various types of DC motor. What is the DC motor? What are the various types of DC motors? Characteristics of all types of DC motors. And then we are going to see the speed control of DC motors. And then we will see the various test, field test. So brake test, Swinburne's test, Hopkinson's test and field test. Okay. So armature circuit equation for motoring. Okay, that topic we have covered. That is the equivalent circuit of DC motor. That topic we have covered. Next class we will see what are the various types of DC motors. That is separately excited and self-excited. And under self-excited, three types are there: shunt, series, and compound. Then characteristics of all the types of DC motors we will see. Then speed control methods. That is in speed control methods we are having two main methods: armature control method and field control method. Okay, and in laboratory also these two methods are explained. Okay, and losses and efficiency, condition for maximum efficiency, one derivation is that I am going to tell. Then there are four tests which are conducted on DC motor and we are finding out efficiency and other parameters. So brake test, Swinburne's test, Hopkinson test and field test. All these four tests are conducted on a DC motor. What is a DC motor or a motor? Motor is a machine which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy, and there is no difference between the construction of a DC motor and DC generator, but only one difference is there, that construction of DC generators is open type because they are operated in more protected locations. On the other hand, motors are generally used in locations where they are exposed to dust, moisture, fumes and mechanical damage. So motor requires protective enclosures. For example, motor requires drip proof, fire proof, etc. enclosure according to the requirement. And DC motors are very useful where a wide range of speeds and good speed regulation is required, such as in case of an electric traction system. So various types of DC motors based on excitation are separately excited motors and self-excited motors. Separately excited are those uh, whose field magnets are excited separately through some battery or DC source, and self-excited motors are those where the excitation is given from the motor itself. That is because of residual magnetism, which I already said in the third unit. So residual magnetism, because of residual magnetism, some amount of flux will be present inside the machine, and this small flux will create small voltage. Small voltage will give small current, and this process will continue until a rated speed is achieved. Okay, so under self excitation there are three main types, that is shunt motor, series motor, and compound motor. So shunt motor, the winding of the field winding is connected in parallel with the armature winding. In series motor, field winding is connected in series with the armature winding of the motor. And in compound, again we are having two types, short shunt and long shunt. And in compound motor, both series and parallel connection of the field winding will be there with the armature winding. Okay. Then we have seen EMF equation of a DC motor. It is given as P5Zn by 60A. EB is the back EMF or the EMF induced in the motor. EB is also called as counter EMF. It is same, its magnitude is same as the EMF generated in a generator, that is P5Zn by 60A. And EB is the back EMF, N is the speed in RPM, revolutions per minute. P is the number of poles, phi is the flux per pole, Z is the total number of conductors, A is the parallel paths. Then we have seen the equivalent circuit of a DC motor. So armature of a DC motor is represented by an equivalent circuit. It is represented by three series connected elements, namely back EMF, armature resistance, and brush contact voltage drop. Then we have seen the equivalent circuit. All three are connected in series here. Then EMF equation, basic equation, EV is equal to EB plus IARA plus VB if we are considering brush contact drop. Thank you everyone for watching the video. I hope today's class is clear to everyone. So watch the video from start till the end, uh, and give your attendance in comment section. If you have any doubts, you can ask me, students, anytime. And the next classes, I'll be telling about the types of DC motors and various other things. So this is very interesting subject, students, and very vast subject also. So please concentrate on the subject, and do ask me in doubts if wherever you are having doubts. This is a basic subject. We have to know all these things as an electrical engineer. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask me, students. And do watch the video from start till the end, and subscribe the YouTube channels of all the faculty members who are taking classes to you, and give your attendance in the comment section. Thank you everyone for watching the video.